I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Yeah, this player got voted out. Yeah, they broke a cardinal rule. But you know what? The best overall player of Survivor and Big Brother in 2021 goes to...
Last night I had a dream that I went fishing. And in order to catch a big fish, you have to have the perfect bait.
You just became my target, buddy.
Ladies and gents, internet, my name is Peridiam, and let's talk about the best Survivor and Big Brother players, seasons, and moves in 2021. From Australian Survivor, Brains vs. Brawn, Survivor South Africa, Immunity Island, Survivor 41, Big Brother Canada 9, and Big Brother 23, we've got a lot to talk about. Whew, okay. In the past, I've given out awards for every winner, but unfortunately none of the winners have given me their shipping address, so I am going to be left hoarding them to myself. That's okay, they're not real anyway. This is going to be a year in review. There are 13 categories that I will be covering in this video, 5 for Big Brother, 6 for Survivor, and then 2 at the end for the ultimate champions between every season, combining both Survivor and Big Brother. We're going to be looking at best seasons, best players, best characters, best moves, favorite moments, and for Survivor, best episode. I don't really do that for Big Brother. There's just so many episodes. They all start to sort of blend together. So yeah. And then the overall best season and player for 2021. I'll be including timestamps on the video if you want to skip either portion or skip both portions if you really don't want to hear what I have to say. I appreciate the click. Either way, there will be a lot of spoilers for all 5 of these seasons, so you have been warned. So here we go. I will be starting with Big Brother this year, which means we have 2 seasons up for nomination for best season. That, of course, being Big Brother Canada 9 and Big Brother 23. Now, I've actually made review videos for both of these seasons, so you'll probably, if you've seen them, you're gonna know exactly what I have to say. On one hand, I liked Big Brother 23 more than I think the average fan did, I think. I watched more live feeds this year than I ever have, which meant I got to know this very likable cast and watch the gameplay play out on a very micro, almost intimate level. I don't know if I should put it that way. There was a lot of heartbreak throughout the season, a lot of tricky moments to navigate for this cast, some great gameplay. The cookout master plan was the most socially dominant strategy to date. It was a remarkable sight. On the flip side, Big Brother Canada 9 was chaotic, it was messy, it was chock full of indecision and questionable strategic calls that led to an equal amount of heartbreak at times, some very brutal betrayals, and a very satisfying winner. I won't bury the lead too much for all of these categories. The better of the 2 seasons for me. The winner goes to Big Brother Canada 9. BB Can 9, one of my favorite BB Can seasons thus far, at times as high as #1. It was really fun to watch every single week of the season. Yeah, the gameplay was questionable, but you know what? That's okay for me. I'm not like here to watch the Super Bowl or I don't know, like the curling finals. I'm watching a bunch of messy people double cross each other and get loud too. Season 9 was often Big Brother at its best. It was very unpredictable, and coming off of the heels of the unfortunate early cancellation of BB Can 8, BB Can 9 was nothing shy of serendipity.
It's time for the sequel!
This is crazy.
Trust me, bro. Yo, we have to have each other. You already know.
Undercover brothers. Undercover brothers, bro.
All right, let's head inside.
Which then leads me to the award of the best character in Big Brother for 2021. Because I had a lot of trouble parsing through who I should give the win to in this category. From BB Can, I looked at players such as Kiefer or Tashawn or Victoria. From BB23, I considered Tiffany or DX or even Big D. Look, if you can make the final 3 interesting, you're going to be up for consideration. But in the end, I think the player who gave me the most to chew on and tune into, to run to my PC to turn on the feeds when I weirdly had them off, the player who really caused a whole lot of hell and then some, I am giving this award to Victoria from Big Brother Canada 9. Between the early ruckus with the Josh boot and then the crazy domino effect and fighting that caused to the messy invisible HOH and then Vic's subsequent eviction, but not before she attempted to take Tara down with her, there was a lot to appreciate from her time in the house, and I need more players with her kind of energy going forward.
I've been playing both sides of the house. I've been that fun party girl, hanging out with everybody, but now things are about to get spicy. What to do this week? Why did you have to lie about throwing my name under the bus?
How did I lie?
You came into the OLG room and you said, Vic, I want you to know I'm only clean campaigning.
Which I did. I've never
You
brought up a
pulled
conversation.
me into the ball pit begging for Austin
No,
to stay.
what are you talking
About
about?
Austin, I'm
what
talking
are you telling
about-
people that I'm trying to flip the vote?
Oh
on
my
Brady?
God!
So you're admitting you're the invisible HOH?
Yes. My inner kid right now is living. This is crazy.
And speaking of chaos in Canada, my favorite moment from Big Brother in 2021 goes to, I'm not even gonna get through the nominations here, we're just gonna go straight to the winner. I'm going to give this one to Tashawn brutally turning on Jed at the final 6 and completely flipping the script of the end game of the season. Now, I'm not saying that this is the absolute best move, but I am going to be saying that this is the best moment. Tashawn's #1 ally, Jed, won the veto, did not use it on himself, instead saving his showmance, believing that he had the votes because, well, how could he not? His best bro, Ty, was voting to keep him. Ty didn't, because Ty knew that his best chance to win the game was with Jed gone. And that is such a gutsy move to make, dripping with the ice cold blood in his veins. It is the game-winning move that should need to be made when a player is in a tricky situation. Nobody ever said that these games would be easy, and given that Ty went on to win this season and get Jed's vote from the jury anyway, I gotta give this moment all my kudos.
Right now, I'm looking at this game like a game of chess. The queen is the most dangerous piece, and that's Jed. The king would be Beth because Jed would protect her at all costs, but she doesn't seem to want to protect anyone. And me, I'm the bishop. Here's the thing about the bishop. The bishop needs to work with others to take out the king and/or the queen. All I'm thinking right now is I gotta make the right moves in this game to hit checkmate.
This is personal. It's not about you. It's about winning.
I came here to win. I didn't come here to make friends.
By a vote of 3-0. Judson, you have been evicted.
But jumping from that award, let's talk about the best move, not the best moment, of Big Brother in 2021. The overall single greatest move made by a player. Of course, yes, I could keep talking about Tashawn. I could give it to him again for turning on Jed, or Kiefer managing to save himself at the final 7 right before that. How about in Big Brother 23 when Hannah convinced DX to not play in the high rollers that week, leading to his blindside instead of getting like the secret coup d'etat? Or even when Xavier cut Kyland at the final 4. Realizing he stood a good chance to win without Kai in the game. But no, okay, none of those are what I consider to be the best move. For me, the best Big Brother move for this year was when Tiffany created the master plan, the overarching grand strategy that would ultimately dictate the entire season of Big Brother 23. From her brain to our eyeballs, we watched as week in and week out, Tiffany's plan was executed to near perfection, and she thought of this move overnight in like week 3, staring at her chessboard as she loved to do. She woke up the next morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and there you go. The board was set. Let's push the first domino.
Part of why the cookout is successfully hidden is because the 6 of us have never been alone in a room together.
Y'all ready to make it official? Cookout on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cookout.
Even though the cookout's been official since week 1, it feels good to make it officially official. But at the end of the day, only one member of the cookout will be getting rain and confetti on finale night.
Which leads me to the final Big Brother award for 2021, and that is the best player. I considered a lot of different players, from Tashawn to Xavier to Hannah and Kiefer. A few of those players won their seasons. It's hard to ignore the results. But BB Can was very sloppy, and even though X won his season of BB23, I watched way too much of the live feeds to know how much luck can factor into any player's success. Which is why I am giving the best Big Brother player in 2021 award to Tiffany Mitchell from Big Brother 23. Despite not winning, she had by far the most agency week in and week out. The tragic irony here is that had she not placed this upon herself, where I believe had she not rolled with the master plan, she would just have easily created an alternate master plan and stood an even better chance at winning with the players she was closest to. Most of the dominant strategy that season, week in and week out, went through her, and it was unfortunate that it ended with Kylan deciding that she was less worthy of winning, when if his screws were tightened on properly, I think he might reconsider. But, you know, that's the game as it played out, and even though Tiffany didn't win, I do think that she was the superior player across the chessboard this year, and this shiny, imaginary trophy of respect is going to have her name engraved onto it.
How many is this?
6.
How many is that?
5.
How many is 6 and 5?
11.
What does 11 make?
Yes. We need to partner with someone else outside of the six so that we don't bring attention to ourselves. And we will also appear as a duo to other people in the house. As long as one of us doesn't go to jury first, we will always control the vote. Always. So we need to make up our jury, and then we need to determine the order in which they lead.
Then after that, we battle it out.
And that's it for the Big Brother Awards in 2021. Although I do plan to talk about my overall favorite season and player at the end of the video, also including Survivor. So if you want to skip the Survivor portion, feel free. Otherwise, here we go. Let's talk about Survivor in 2021. We have 3 seasons to account for: Survivor South Africa, Immunity Island, Australia, Brains vs. Brawn, and Survivor 41 in the US. And when it comes to the overall Best Season award, I actually haven't really shared my thoughts on Survivor South Africa or Australia this year, unless I guess you occasionally follow me on Twitter. Although I have talked at length now about Survivor 41, so if you want to know my full thoughts on everything that happened that season, just check out the review video. With South Africa Season 8, I found myself really enjoying a lot of the cast and the gameplay from this year. South Africa has the overall best editing between the 3 seasons when it comes down to parody and allowing everyone on the cast to be heard. I feel like I usually know the South African casts better than any iteration, and this year was no different. Not only that, but there were several episodes and moments where I was enthralled by the clever moves being made or the funny moments that were unique to some of these players. South Africa is just underrated as a series, and if like you're American and you're looking for more US Survivor that feels a little bit more like US Survivor, SA is your best bet.
South Africans from all walks of life are about to embark on the adventure of a lifetime. Here.
But then swoops in and leads me to Australian Survivor Brains vs. Brawn. I like to say that Aussie Survivor is more of like an epic of Survivor. It's longer, it has more players, more episodes, and thus will often have more of just everything by default. It is a journey, an odyssey, no doubt, with every season, but that doesn't always mean that I love what I'm getting. It gives me more, but if I'm not loving what it's giving me, it's just like more stuff that I'm not enjoying. The editing and the storytelling in Australian Survivor are often the most lopsided. It's been that way for a while, and as a diehard Survivor fan, I do find it very noticeable. And I'm gonna say this right here because I don't talk about Australian Survivor enough on my channel, but if there was ever one thing I could just request from them, it's that they shorten the length of their tribal councils. They really feel like they go on forever. And no, Jonathan, there is nothing the tribe needs to be thinking about before they go up to vote. That being said, on top of my already laid out thoughts for Survivor 41, I am sheepishly delivering a blindside and saying that the best season of 2021 was Brains vs. Brawn from Australian Survivor. Look, I had to get my constructive criticism out before I gave it the trophy. I don't want its head to get too big. Aussie Survivor this year swung for the fences and had me captivated so often. It put a lot of stock into its biggest players, and I personally really enjoyed those players, even though it was at the expense of many others who faded into the background. If you know my taste, you know that I don't necessarily need the peak Survivor gameplay to have a good season. There were so many wild moves made, so many elaborate plans and moments throughout the season where I was just like doing the math on the screen and hoping some players would recognize what I thought they needed to do for optimal gameplay, and then they did consistently, such as the vote at the final 5 and then the final 4 and the merge, and right before that with the Simon blindside and the Gerald blindside and the Emmett blindside and so on. This really felt like an epic story being told in the Survivor format, and I was living for it for the most part.
The harsh Australian outback, home to a new breed of player. Brains versus Brawn.
Simon.
You know what's coming?
Yeah. Laura.
What?
Emmett.
That's also why I'm going to be giving the best move to Danny and Haley when they managed to round up their alliances, their troops, like opposing generals meeting at the middle of the battlefield, to join together to take out a common enemy, to orchestrate Simon getting taken out with 2 idols in his pocket. They threw the challenge, they fooled him all episode, they played this masterfully, and you don't see all of this very often on Survivor. And then Haley even went on to undermine Danny and make her the backup target in the event that Simon played his idol. That's sneaky Haley. And given she went on to win the season even after she was voted out by one of the worst twists I have ever watched in over 60 seasons across the globe, Baden, you deserved better. This move by these powerful women is worthy of winning this award. The blindside of Shan on Survivor 41 is also up there, as was the merge vote of SA, but this one move really blew me away.
Simon, he has 2 idols.
Hearing that Simon has 2 idols is terrifying.
It's a lot of power for him if he gets to murder 2 idols. I know. We're all screwed. Let your guys know, because mine are on board. Okay. Yeah?
I feel like this could be a simple one tonight.
I think Tribal tonight will be fireworks.
If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Okay, I'll read the votes. 11th person voted out of Australian Survivor Brains versus Brawn, Simon. That's 5 votes. That's enough.
Blindside.
Need to bring me a torch.
I must be one of the first people to leave with not 1, but 2 idols in my back pocket.
You are correct. For Australian Survivor, you are correct. Well, to quote Simon, everyone does indeed love a blindside.
Which then leads me to my favorite moment of Survivor in 2021. And you know, there were a lot to pick from. George's idol Ankara in the post-merge, Chappies and Santoni just taking the final 7 tribal council by storm, forcing the dominant alliance to turn on each other. Or even just Chappies and all of his shenanigans. Hoarding food for himself in the middle of the night so he could go on an immunity win streak and make a deep run in the season. The amount of drama that arose from that one man and the food that he consumed, you can't make this stuff up.
So welcome to Chappie's Diner, where I've got some nice onion, rice, crabs, and mussels. And I'm gonna have enough seafood for tomorrow and the day thereafter, and who knows when.
You guys have got sticky fingers. 100% fact. You guilty, 100%.
Maybe 110, but...
Maybe 110, maybe 150.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment absolutely can't be made up, and that is why I'm giving this award to when the Yase 3 outmaneuvered the majority alliance at the merge of Survivor 41. When Xander busted out a fake idol against Liana's overpowered advantage, and then Tiffany did not play the idol, and they seized the day at the most critical moment of the season. I made a whole video leading up to this moment, but what really sold it for me, beyond of course how just cool it was at the moment, was the editing. How I really wanted the editors for the longest time leading up to season 41 to use flashbacks to blindside the audience, and then they totally did that here. It made the blindside as a viewing experience, as like a TV show, just incredible. Just inject it into my veins.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that I have the hidden immunity idol. It's honestly a burden at this point, so I'm happy to give it away.
So I just have one question for one player. Do you have an idol, Xander?
No, but you can have this fake. Right before we left for Tribal, I gave my extra vote and my idol to Tiffany. This is you did. Your punch fake. I also have a fake idol that I made a while ago, and I'm glad I did.
Sydney. I'm sorry, girl. Need to bring me your torch?
I'm sorry. Oh my God, Tiff. That. Oh my God.
And yet, my favorite episode, a unique award just for Survivor, is going to stick around in the United States. And that is because I am giving this award to season 41, episode 10, Baby with a Machine Gun. This was the cataclysmic episode where Shan was blindsided by Ricard, and even though I like Shan and I was rooting for her and at times I thought she was going to win the season, I could not help but appreciate how great the storytelling was in these 42 minutes.
I think it's tough because you still want to win for yourself. There's like that duality, like, hold on for a second.
What you singing over there?
Oh, sorry, nothing. I was thinking.
I was supposed to be going home today, tonight, but I won the challenge. So, I've decided that today is the day for Shan to go.
The initial plot to take out Ricard, the internal struggle Lyanna faced when telling Shan, and then Shan planted her flag firmly in Ricard's camp, letting him know of the plan. The reward was Shan's villainous hum being overheard by Heather, poetic the one time she gets caught in this season, and then the turn of Ricard when he decides to make his move and strike at Shan. She had an idol in her pocket, but they successfully split the vote, and man, the score for Shan's send-off was serene. It was a tribute. It was an episode of Survivor at its best, and I want to acknowledge that.
We always said when the time was right, we'd give each other permission to do this.
11th person voted out and the 4th member of our jury, Shan.
That was good.
Good game, Shan.
Lyanna, you played.
I take no joy in this.
I know. I played a good game and this was a dream come true. I love you, babe.
Shan, tribe has spoken.
As far as the best Survivor character goes, this award is reserved for the player who gave me the most to chew on. I was always fixated on what they were going to do next or their thoughts on the matters at hand. To win this award, it also helps if this player is a bit unique, they stand out amongst the crowd, and while I considered players such as Chappies or Haley or Shan, in the end, I gave it to the king. And
that is Nasir.
Oh no, Nasir, no, man. Oh, this is awkward. Man, I loved you on season 41, but you were an honorable mention in this video. You're not the recipient. I mean, if I could split this imaginary trophy in half, I would, but I don't make the rules. I am giving the best character to King George of Bankstown from Aussie Survivor Brains vs. Brawn. And honestly, I don't know if anyone is too surprised by this. George is larger than life. As a viewer, you kind of go from finding him to be an odd duck to rooting for him throughout the span of the season, constantly amazed that all of his shenanigans are like somehow working out. He's like a mad Survivor scientist or a politician, and somehow he kept getting away with it. So many great moments were because of George. He really put his back into this season, and when Aussie Survivor is delivering the goods, as it often was with George, the producers really know it, and they love to give you seconds and thirds and fourth servings of this peculiar cast of characters they've managed to scrounge up. And King George is at the top, sitting on his throne.
People might think I've gotten lucky, but I didn't get lucky. I worked hard to pull myself from the bottom and shape the target off my back every single day. I've had a plan since day one, and it's to be a smooth political operative running a well-oiled campaign. And that's what I've done. I came here to raise the bar. It doesn't matter how much it hurts. I'm gonna get that crown. King George against Queen Haley truly is a battle royale. And I'm going to snatch the crown that I so rightfully deserve.
Which leads me to the best player, the best Survivor player of 2021. And I don't think I need to cover in extensive detail who's in the running here. We have Haley and George from Aussie Survivor. We have Shan, Ricard, and Erica from US Survivor. And we have Kieran and Nicole from South African Survivor. This is the most difficult award of this entire video, possibly of the 3 times that I've done this video series now, but I had to give the best Survivor player from 2021 to the winner of their season, Haley from Aussie Survivor. Even though she was voted out, she still beat her biggest competition in George. Kieran kind of got screwed by the numerous twists, limiting his options going into the endgame on South Africa, but you know, still it just didn't pan out for him. Nicole was just a little too under the radar for my liking, and then Shan got too ahead of herself and didn't manage her threat level well enough when it came down to crunch time. Ricard laid low and struck when the iron was hottest for him, and he's probably my runner-up here, but I believe that Haley ultimately played the best number of rounds of Survivor, making the most remarkable moves from start to finish, and she won even though, yes, she was taken out. But then I also think the twist that took her out was just absolute garbage. No matter who went out there, whether it was her or anyone else, I was over it. Thankfully, the cast saved the season, but still, we will never know what happens if the game continued as normal in the episode she was voted out. But without that twist, I could see it being a drastically different game going forward. And either way, she won. And she was great in spite of her elimination. She turned an L into a W, and for that and more, she's getting this award.
I started watching this game 20 years ago. I have been researching and preparing for this moment my whole life. I am the perfect mix of brain and brawn. That's a dangerous combination. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be strong. I have pushed so hard, and I am ready to take out the title of Soul Survivor.
And now we've reached the end. We have our winners for each of the 11 categories across both shows, so let's combine them for a second and find out which season is my favorite season of 2021. Last year I gave this award to Winners at War, before that Australian Survivor CVC2, and this year it's between Big Brother Canada 9 and Aussie Survivor Brains vs. Brawn. And once again, a new region reigns supreme, because I am giving my overall favorite season award to Big Brother Canada 9. The first season of all of these shows of 2021. They really set the bar high, and you know what? Actually, when I think about it, this was a good year for both shows. I very much enjoyed 2021 a hell of a lot more than 2020, or even 2019. 2021 blows so many years out of the water. For best player in 2021, it comes down to Tiffany from BB23 and Haley from Brains vs. Brawn. And I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Yeah, this player got voted out. Yeah, they broke a cardinal rule. But you know what? The best overall player of Survivor and Big Brother in 2021 goes to... Can I say both of them? Can I finally just like split the award in half? I mean, it's not even real. I think I do make the rules here. Okay, no, we're not gonna take the easy way out. I am giving the award to Haley, largely because she overcame a lot of ground en route to winning the season, even though it was Tiffany who orchestrated the entire groundwork for this season of BB23. The only problem I have there is that she didn't win, and what's more, I do think that she held herself back a lot throughout this season, and I needed her to give herself permission to go for the jugular. She created the rules that would be her success, but would also be her undoing. And Haley equally crushed her competition. She had no right to go that far into the endgame, and I was in awe so many times with her strategy, and it was satisfying to see the queen of the season sit next to the king and be the one rewarded with her crown.
I am in complete shock at what's just happened. I made massive blindsides and I was a physical beast out here, and I never thought I would be. I have wanted to play this game for so long, and $500,000 is gonna change my life.
So that is it for Survivor and Big Brother in 2021. The best moves, the best players, the best seasons. But that's just my take. Let me know who you would give the award to for each of these categories. What was your favorite season of 2021? Who is your best player? No matter what, I want to give a huge year-ending thank you to all of my patrons on the screen. Another year is in the books. And a big thank you to every one of you out there who are either a longtime subscriber or a new watcher or somewhere in between. I've been doing this for over 4 years now, and I have no plans of stopping, and I just can't wait for what 2022 has in store. Don't forget to send in your audition tapes for next year's seasons on your way out, and I'll see you in the next year. And of course, as always, in the next one.
Not only am I so impressed by your social, strategic, and physical game, I'm amazed at how you owned every single moment of that, and I am so proud to call you friend, ally, and hopefully soul survivor after this.